A very good
Sorry.
afternoon to one and all present here. Today, I, Shubhangi Gulati, on behalf of Geeta Ratan International Business School, welcome you all for the professional lecture on Prepare Yourself as a Team Member. Geeta Ratan International Business School was established in the year 2004. It is affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi, and is approved by All India Council for Technical Education, Ministry of HRD, Government of India for technical courses, and Bar Council of India for law courses. The institute conducts various courses, namely MBA, MBA International Business, BBA, BBA LLB, and BA LLB. Gibbs has been graded A by National Assessment and Accreditation Council in the second cycle. It is an ISO 9001-2008 and ISO 14001-2015 certified institute. The institute has been rated as A+ by State Fee Regulatory Committee, a fee committee of Government of NCT of Delhi and GGSIPO, and rated highest grading A by Joint Inspection Committee of Government of NCT of Delhi and GGSIPO University. Gibbs has been rated grade A by Academic Audit Cell of GGSIP University continuously from past 6 years. Also, Gibbs has been ranked number 2 by Times of India B School Survey continuously from 2018 to 2020. At Gibbs, thrust is an overall personality development of students so that they can face challenges in their competitive professional life with a value-based approach. Apart from providing quality education, the emphasis is on to develop leadership qualities, risk-taking abilities, and decision-making skills right from the beginning of their professional education. Going by this agenda, the Institute conducts professional lectures regularly. This lecture is a sequel to fulfill this objective. It is a well-known fact that the ability to achieve goals in the workplace requires collaboration. Whether you are currently part of a team or are preparing to join a new one, developing strong teamwork skills can help you succeed in your career no matter your level of industry. Today, we have a very eminent personality with us, Mr. Atma Godara. Mr. Godara is an engineer turned HR professional with a Bachelor of Engineering in Information Technology from Punjab Engineering College, Chandigarh, and Masters in HRM and LR from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. He specializes in areas like HR, business partnering, HR analytics, digital transformation, employee engagement, and many more. He has been engaged with educational institutions to speak on topics like campus to corporate, digital transformation, and change management. Mr. Godara has demonstrated history of working in various HR roles across a very large number of industries. Mr. Godara has been identified as a dynamic HR leader by Economic Times HR in 2021 and as 40 under 40 HR leaders by Drama Bay. At present, he is working as production HR generalist for Netflix in APAC. Previous to that, he was associated with Oyo, Reliance, Bell, Samsung, etc. at different strategic levels. Now, without taking much of your time, may I now request our speaker, Mr. Atma Godara, to kindly enlighten our students with vast knowledge so that they can prepare to take up the future corporate challenge. So, it is our privilege to have you here. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shubhangi. Thank you very much for having me here. And I don't know who the host is, but I would request you because I can't see all the tiles on the screen. I can only see one person.
Ask any question to sir. Sir is open.
You can ask me anything. Yeah, about the campus, about the corporate, about career, about technology, about recruitment, about anything. I'm here for at least an hour or so. I can answer all your questions. And this is what actually I do. I mean, when I used to go to campuses, I used to write down all the questions first, one by one. I used to do like 35, 40, 50 questions. Then I used to probably answer, let's say, 20 or 25 odd questions in the call of 1 hour. So she'll wait for next 10 minutes to take all your questions in one go. I will type all your, I have a pen and a paper. I will type all your questions here.
Let me start with first question is from my side.
Sure.
How I to understand myself that I am a good team player, member in a team?
Oh, this is a great question, sir. I think, see, if we talk about being a team player, at time what happens that even if you are a leader or you are an individual contributor, say you could be in three stages wherever you are working in any organization. Either you could be an individual contributor, you have a manager. In the second case, you might have some of the team members with you. In the third case, you might be a manager yourself. Always trust in either of the three cases, you have to be a good team player, not only within your team but with the cross-functional teams also. For example, if you're from the sales team and heading the western region for India, you have to be a good team player not only with the western region but also with the north and the south and the eastern region of the sales team. Then you have to be a good player with the marketing team. Then you have to be a good player with, say, branding, PR, and publicity, these teams also. Now, how do you become one as a good team player? See, wherever you are going to join a new team, whenever you move into a new environment, try to understand what people are saying. So, the first requisite to become a team player is to be a listener. Try to be a listener. And when I say listener, it's not hear, just listen, not to react, but to respond. Try to understand. If you are in the rush to react, you will never ever learn anything or you won't be able to contribute to the work or the team. So don't react, but respond after listening carefully. I think that is the first primitive. Second piece is like, deliver before you demand. So in any case, capacity, even if you're a leader, don't demand things. First, try to deliver what you can contribute. Be it demanding for more work, be it demanding for more pay, be demanding for work from your team. First, deliver something. There's the second most important aspect of being a good team player. Third key part is communication, or rather, I would say over communication. So, communicate more and more and more. So, if I quickly go back to this point, first is listen, to respond. Second would be deliver before you demand. Third would be communication. I hope I was somewhere
I
the right
think
direction.
many of the students have a question.
Sure. Okay, I think there is something
What?
is popping in the chat
Yeah,
also, right?
Anmol, could you understand what sir wants to say? Listen, not to respond, or respond, not to listen, or both. Let me think it. Where the difference? That has started a pinpointing point. Ethan, what do you think?
Oh, sir, I had a question as well.
Yeah.
Sure, please go
Hello,
ahead.
sir. Hello. So as an HR point of view, sir, I was going through a LinkedIn profile just now. After graduating from Punjab Engineering College, you took a break for around 3 years. I mean, you had your work experience as well. And then you joined TIS. So, sir, as a recruitment point of view, as a recruiter point of view, after completing my undergrad, if I want to enter a field of finance, for example, or operations or consulting, would you recommend me taking a work experience for 1, 2, or possibly 3 years and then going for my master's degree, or would you recommend just to go for my MBA post my undergrad? What would you recommend?
Okay, that's a great question, then, and I wish somebody could have told me this thing a little earlier, maybe 10 years earlier. So there are two aspects to it. First is the market, the B school of this country, or say the industry of the country. So if you want to do a master's, what you call an MBA, or an MA or MS for that matter in finance, if you are on the campus, if and you are a fresher, you would be one of the most valued or preferred candidate by the recruitment firms. For example, after your undergrad, you directly go to SAM Calcutta, and there you get all the financial firms who come to your campus visit for your summer and finals. if you're a fresher, you would be one of their first priority. Okay. And now let's talk about from your personal preference. Sometimes you may not want to go for an MBA, but you feel like going for work for a few years, then you go for the masters. In that case, if you want to be another preferred candidate by the firms, I would recommend you to do the relevant work job. For example, if you want to do a master's in finance, do some work in next 2 to 3 years in the finance sector instead of doing it in, say, if you're graduating as an engineer. I'm giving an example of engineer because it's the most common graduation we have. Working as a civil engineer for 3 years and then probably going to do your master in finance. Then those 3 years would be difficult for you to probably in a way justify for what you have done for so far. So making that relevance from your point of view, if you want to work for a year or two, I think that would be a better idea. And having said that, between fresher and somebody who's worked for at least say 1 to 2 years, there's not much difference. So up to 24 months, people consider them within freshers only. So like after your BAs or so BComs or BBAs, if you have a drop of 2 years and you go for your masters, people will treat you as a fresher. So that is second criteria. So this is what I'm giving you, the industry perspective. Nothing to do with your passion, what you want to do in life. And this doesn't guarantee that if you go right after your bachelor's degree, then you will land in a very good job after your master's. Not a guarantee at all. Vis-a-vis also, it's not like that if you work for 4 or 5 years and then you go for your master's, then you won't get a job after your postgraduate degree. So that these are the things which I'm not saying. I'm just saying you that in general how the industry is preferring, and what kind of shortlist you might get if you go to your masters. I hope that was helpful, Ethan.
Absolutely good. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. I saw in the chat somebody said there are people waiting in the waiting, like people are in the waiting room. I can't see anyone in the waiting room. I think somebody must have let them in. Okay. What next question? Who's the
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Myself, Monica. So, am I audible?
Yes, Monica, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, my question is that what is the best way of resolving a team conflict? We all know that team conflict is not good for the team as well as for the organization. So, according to you, what would be the best way of resolving it? If
Monica, when you say team conflict to resolve, you're saying that between two team members, or say if I am into the conflict, how do I resolve it? Or if I see a conflict within my team between two members, how do I resolve that?
so between the team members.
Sorry? Between the team members.
So,
Okay, yeah, great.
yes, between the team members.
Yeah, great. See, first of all, one has to identify what the conflict is it about. Do you have the conflict about the work, or do you have the conflict about your personal issues? Okay, that is very important. Is it professional or personal to identify? If it is personal, then it is a very different situation, and then we will have a different conversation altogether why there was a conflict altogether, because ideally shouldn't have any personal conflict at work. If it is a professional conflict, try to understand what was the conflict about. What was the topic. Let's not focus on the conflict or on the what you call disagreement. Let us focus about what was the task at hand when you had this disagreement or you had this conflict. While focusing on that, let's try to understand who are the key stakeholders of that task. Okay, once you identify the key stakeholders, try to understand who are the people or which are the teams which will be impacted by that work. Or rather, let me put it the other way around, which are the teams which will not get benefited if that work is not getting executed. Okay, so once you identify that, then you reach out to these people in terms of what are their expectations from that work or that task. That would be the second thing here. So once you are done with that, then you realize that while in this entire conversation, you will realize that your conflict was around something which wasn't addressing the need of the recipients or the people who are getting impacted. If you focus on your recipient, on your consumers, or on the person who are getting impacted, then you will realize that, or then in this process, you'll get to see that the conflict was more about because of your personal maybe issues or grudges or unprofessionalism, and less about the task at hand, which was supposed to deliver something for a different or say third party for that matter. I hope that was helpful, Monica.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great. Who's the next on the call? Do we have more hands? Do we have questions in the chat?
Anmol, do you have any question?
No, sir, not yet. I will be asking.
So, taking a point from your answer, you have said respond or listen. So if being at the first level of these students in management cadre, how they will differentiate in their behavior that this is a response or this is a listening.
So probably what I think it's a good example, sir. What right now probably you are doing is listening, and because you're responding, what everybody else is probably doing is hearing to me because there's no response. It's just one-way communication. So if there is a one-way communication, the listening part is not happening. If it is a two-way communication, if the other person is responding and you're asking more questions, then it would fall in the category of listening. So I think we have a very good and live example here in this conversation between hearing and listening.
Right. So can you give us any live example of demand that we usually observe in the, I say, corporate world? Because sometimes the students, when they used to join in corporate world, basically they are coming from a background. They do not understand that I am demanding. So I want some clarification from real life that you have faced in your career. The pupils, particularly I have seen most of the newcomers, they're more demanding.
Sorry, sir. Like you're saying that people are demanding when they join the organizations. So an example on that, right?
Yeah, means which may be understood by the students that we should not behave like this.
Okay, great. Yes, absolutely. So we have currently most of the participants are second year MBA students, right?
Yeah, they're BBA students, undergraduate.
Sorry, yeah, third, final year and second year BBA students. Yes.
Yeah.
So the final year students who are here on the call, probably they are looking down for a job, say in 6 months to 9 months down the line. Okay, all of them want to land in good jobs and probably want to start their corporate career. So this is what probably they are thinking, or rather I would put it in the right word, they're demanding it, and which is the right demand, of course. But as I was saying in the beginning about one has to deliver before you demand. If you're not delivering and you're just demanding, it is called entitlement. And entitlement comes with certain privileges. Honestly, if you don't have that privilege and still you are demanding, then it is not entitlement. I mean, there's not word available in the dictionary that if I'm not privileged, I'm still demanding, that I don't know what the word would be that in the dictionary. I think we need a new word for that. So in that kind of demand, and how can you deliver? You can deliver by being attentive in your classrooms, by completing your assignments on time, by giving your exams on time, scoring, being sincere, attending these lectures, and being by responding to everything, right? Not being like idle, or probably, hey, I've been dragged in these sessions and I don't know, hey, my goodness, what I will do for an hour or so. So why? Because you are getting into the corporate world, somewhere you have to take that initiative, you have to take that step. Until unless you don't deliver, the demand would be not in futile at all. I mean, no, it would be total waste.
I think Ethan wants to ask some question more. Yes.
Yes, Ethan, please go ahead.
Okay, this question is related to networking and connections. Actually, whenever I listen to anyone's interviews who are working for top tier companies like BCG or Netflix for that matter, so sir, I usually listen to people saying that networking and connections are probably one of the most important things if you want to succeed in the corporate world. So sir, how can we as an undergraduate students who are ranging from the age of 19 to 20 years begin to establish their corporate connections which can turn out to be fruitful for us in the upcoming 10 or 15 years probably?
Sure, absolutely. It's a good question. I think. See, when you talk about networking, the most misnomer, or the most what do you call, uh, common thing which we hear but we don't realize is that, hey, go and connecting with more and more people. If you're going to a conference, talking to more and more people, and and with our network would be large, and I will know so many people who would help me in getting into a job or getting into something else. That thing is there. But having said that, this is I think a wrong practice, or wrong assumption about networking, I believe. For me, networking is more around how do you offer something, that little, even if that is a little piece of help or support or anything else, to someone else. So networking is about what can you offer. Always remember that. That's how you build your network. That's how you build that relationship. That's how you build that trust. Instead of you're adding people on social media, following them on Instagrams, or probably being connected them, meeting them in the conferences. That little piece of what you can offer as an individual. So that is one part of the network, and this is also applicable if you're writing a cold email to someone. For example, if writing a cold email to someone to seek a job or some help, again, you can't just write that, hey, give me a job, or write, get me an intern. You can't write to I mean, you can write, of course, but nobody will entertain you in that case. You can write to any of the head or any of the CHR or the CEO. How you might stand out in that email, in that one line, because every person will go through your message or email only one time. And in that one time, how could you capture someone's attention? By offering in that one line that why you should be hired as an intern, or why should you be given that job. Instead of give me that job or give me that intern, you have to write in that email or in that message and LinkedIn message that why do you think, crisp and short, why do you think you are the one who should get that job? Always remember that. Thank you.
Students, sir is
Okay, we
waiting.
have, sorry. Yeah. I think we have 30 odd participants. So even if everyone
Arushi,
comes up with,
do you have any
must
question?
you must be having some doubts, right? Some questions, some doubts in life. You can ask me about your syllabus also, for that matter. If not anything else, you can talk about a subject also. What subject you like and what subject you don't like, and what are the issues what you're facing there. We can we can have that discussion also. Let me know.
Yes, Ketan.
Yeah.
Oh, sir, I had another question.
Go ahead then.
So, nowadays, like, of course, interviews are a crucial part of the recruitment process or placement process for any company for that matter. So, what are, according to you, the three main things that an interviewer looks forward in an interviewee, which are the basis on which the person tends to select them? Can it be their personality or their academics for that matter? Anything. What are the top three things that a person looks for in that person or in their CV as well?
Absolutely. I think some of the top three things which I would look for, I have conducted almost hundreds of interviews and have selected so many people so far in my career. Probably some of the three things which I look forward to, first could be, I think, authenticity. Okay, how authentic are you? What are you talking about? What have you written there? Are you really authentic? First thing. Second, I think would be the point is, do you know it? As in, what you are talking about. Are you making any sense of it? Or you're just blubbering in that call, right? Do you make sense of what you're talking about? Do you make sense of what you have written in that document again? So authenticity, do you make sense of it? And third point, I think would be, how vulnerable are you, right? Do you open up yourself up? Do you bring your honest towards the front? How vulnerable are you in that conversation to the other person? I think there are probably top three things which I look forward to. And trust me, knowledge and subject matter expertise, everything else is irrelevant. Doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, ultimately, whatever job you land into as an individual, you always get trained to do something, right? You will train and you will perform in that job. Within finance, there are 1,000 types of jobs we have, right? Every time you get into different jobs, even if I pick my previous 4 organizations, every time I landed into a very different role altogether. This role had nothing to do with the previous role. It was a brand new role for me. From scratch, I started every time. But in 6 months, you learn the nitty-gritties of the role. Until I said you have to make a rocket without the prior knowledge of rocket science. Everything else can be learned in few weeks and few months. And you, of course, start delivering on that front. So those things are not very, I mean, at the top of the discussion or at the top of the debate, I would say, for that matter. That was great question, that was. Thank you.
So as you have worked in different organizations, you feel culturally different organizations have different environment. I am asking on cultural point of view.
Sorry, I think I missed you somewhere. I couldn't hear you. Maybe it's my network. I'll put the camera off for a while.
My question is,
yeah.
Do you feel, as you have worked in different organizations, the cultures are different? Because in the same place, suppose it is in Delhi or in Bangalore, different organizations have different cultures.
See, yes, this is a very interesting question. If we talk about culture, it's nothing but shared values and beliefs. So typically, what you will see within one organization, let alone the cities apart, in different teams will have different set of cultures. For example, say in finance, let's talk about one vertical. The leader is very communicative and democratizes everything, talks to everyone, encourages people to speak. Vis-a-vis, we have the operations functions, and the leader there likes the hierarchy, doesn't talk to people who are one level below that leader. So, there are two examples I've given you within the same office, same location, but to different teams. So typically, culture is driven by the command of the leader, what the leader believes in, what leader it flows always top to bottom, and it differs from teams to team itself. Within teams, within finance, there would be say 5 leaders at n-1 level. So these 5 teams would have 5 different cultural sets. within one team. So it is more to do with the leaders, what you call beliefs and values, and how that leader propagates those things down to the team also. And you don't have to, or this is to all the students, you don't have to worry if you don't get any question at this point of time. You can
I
tweet
think
your
now
question.
some students have raised hand. Devini?
Good afternoon, sir. My question is that what are the basic networking skills required for good networking?
Sure, Devini. It's a great question. I partially answered this question, so but I will take it up again, take it up once again, no problem, because this is a very, very important question. It has been mistaken for so many years. Again, I think in networking skill, there is only one networking skill I believe in, and it has been super successful for me so far. Deliver, or always, whenever you are talking to someone, when you are reaching out to someone, when you are interacting with someone, always try to understand what you can offer, and never ever do this thinking that don't reach out to people when you need them. Okay, for example, today I am working with Netflix, and probably I was in no need to talk to you students right here. There was no need for me to probably wake up on Saturday. I had to wake up early morning because I had a class at 8 a.m. Some class was there. I couldn't sleep for last few days properly. I wasn't keeping well. So I had to wake up early today with the alarm. I had it lasting till 10. I had my breakfast. I went back to sleep at 11 a.m. again today. Then I again to wake up at 12 a.m. because we had the session at 12:30. Okay. And after this class, I will again go back to sleep because I have to complete my sleep and not keeping well. I do, maybe it is weather or whatever it is. So why am I doing all these things? Why did I why did I attend that class in the morning? Was I looking out for a job? No. Why am I talking to all of you at this point of time? Is it like I want to become, say, a faculty in your college at this point of time? Am I not your college? Say, am I pursuing an interest in the academia? No. I'm here because I'm trying to contribute something to all of you, right? That I have probably learned something last so many years. Can I contribute? Can I tell some of the things, some of the mistakes what I've done, some of the things what I have learned in all these years to all of you, which you can avoid while you start your career a year down the line, or probably when I was in college, what I've done or what I haven't done, which you can um, probably do while you're in the college itself. So this is a perfect example of networking. I'm building a network with all of you, the future leaders of the country here in this call. And I'm not asking you anything. Probably if 10 years down the line, I might need something. And, I get to know that, hey, Hiten is working in XYZ. And I have some work. Then I tell Hiten, like, yeah, I remember I spoke to Atma so many years back and, on a Saturday morning. And Hiten would be more than happy to help me in that situation or that scenario. This is the perfect example of networking. And I have believed in this style of networking. I really don't believe in the style of networking where you try to connect with more and more people, be it a conference or be it in college or be it on a social media platform. And I think this worked very well for me also. I hope I answered your question, Dipti, there.
Yes, sir.
Great. I think we have a hand from Kunal and then Anmol, I think. Go ahead, Kunal.
So, get to know about what was your experience while you were doing a job in various companies, and while you were leading a team, you have to face some consequences, and when you achieve it just because of just for the team, and when you just lose, it's you are responsible for that leader. So what was your experience regarding this?
Kunal, I want you to repeat your question. I actually didn't understand. Maybe you can break your question into two questions, and then we can pick up one maybe question at one point of time. We can do that also.
So I want to just to get to know about like what's your experience in last 10 years. Point of focus that we should focus upon, and also we should leave it like these points should be we should leave as a leader or as a HR.
Okay. Let me rephrase your question. I didn't understand it properly, but I will try to do that, and then I will answer. And probably during the conversation, you can again stop me, and you can start with that thing also. First thing, what was my experience? How was my experience? Experience was good. I mean, if you have a particular question, we can definitely talk about it going forward. Second is like, what do you leave behind? Probably you leave behind a legacy wherever you work, or wherever you not only work is just one part of the life. Wherever you interact, wherever you go, where you talk to someone, you always leave a legacy behind. I think that is more helpful there. Yeah. Is that helpful, Kunal?
Yes, sir.
Great. Super. Any more hands we have at this point of time? We don't have any hands. I'll check in the chat. Don't have questions in the chat also. Yes, I will wait for more questions. Bring them on. Bring on your questions. Or if you're hungry, we can stop for the lunch.
Sir,
Please go ahead.
sir, can you please let Hitin Chadda in the meeting? By mistake, he has dropped off his call. He is waiting.
But no one in the lobby. I did not see anyone in the lobby.
Come on in, more questions, please. I said ask me anything. You can ask me about Bollywood also. I know a lot. I work with Bollywood. If you're interested in that field.
Yes.
Sir, Hitin is waiting. He has sent a picture like that. Someone will let him in the meeting.
I think your college system works like that. If somebody is asking too many questions, it pushes that person out. I think. So that's why then he's not able to get in once again.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question. Can I ask, please?
Sure, sure.
Sir, since you have worked in so many reputed organizations, so do you think there is a gap between what we are providing to our students as education and what is the demand in the job market? And if yes, how can we try and bridge that gap?
Okay, I cannot comment about a particular institution in terms of the bridging the gap between industry and academia, but I can talk about TISS. I studied because I studied there, and I know what there has been happening. So every year, the council of the college it comes together, and they have a discussion in terms of. I mean, they get just there's lots of background noise someone is having. Please put yourself in mute if you're not talking. Okay. So I was saying that I'm not sure about the other campuses as such. I can't comment, but I can talk about TISs. What the we had a academic council, so they used to come together every year. They tried to understand and review the course structure, and they used to call some of the industry experts from different industries. There's someone from FMCG, somebody from pharma, somebody from technology or manufacturing, to have the discussion and that, hey, this is our syllabus for the current year, and what do you think is relevant or what is not relevant. So over the years, they realized that there is a need to introduce HR analytics in the course. There is a need to introduce statistics in the course. So this was a continuous process. So I think involving industry experts in the board, in those discussions and in those meetings, and changing the or adding the new courses, dropping off the courses which are not very relevant for the industry, keeps on helping in adding more relevant subjects for the campus.
So basically, you mean to say course updation should be done regularly, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
You. Yep. More questions, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, what are the top qualities that a team leader should have and work coordinates with his employees?
I think if you ask me one quality, that could be effective listening. So if only and if you listen, then you can do it. Second quality, I think as a leader, one should know what to delegate and what to do by himself or herself. Delegation is very important. You can't do everything on your own. Third important quality is letting go of the insecurity from the team. You can't be insecure of your team that, hey, this person might take up my job or eat up my job tomorrow. You can't have that insecurity. And fourth thing probably here is believing in what you're doing. I mean, probably if you are leading the team, you have to trust your team. If you don't trust your team, change the team, change yourself, go to a new team. So I think these are the four qualities essential for any leader, in the industry to success.
Okay,
To
thank you,
succeed
sir.
rather.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, please. Next question. See, we have spent almost 1 hour with so many questions we had. What joy it would have been talking to just a wall and not having this interactive conversation. So this is a great. I mean, I really admire all of you to come up and ask so many questions and sharing this today across here with all of us.
Sir, one more question from my side. As we have started a discussion on team, basically what we have observed that there are some people who are coming from, I say, economic poor background. They become shy in working in a team. What would be your suggestion for those type of people? How they can prepare themselves?
Okay. I think it's a great question. I think first it's not to do with the background as such. I think more about behavior of the individual. And I think it is okay. You have a certain personality and you don't have to change your personality as an individual. If somebody is not comfortable with this, if you are going to organization A, it might not suit you there, then you go to probably B or C or D. So you will find your place, you will find your team, you will find your people. One doesn't have to really change your personality. You might be an extrovert, you might be an introvert, but one day you'll find the people who appreciate and acknowledge for what you do rather than what they want you to change or demand you in a certain way. So I think that is a more relevant one, I would say here.
Good, sir. Students, we are waiting for your points. Sir is waiting for the last 1 hour. Let you ask. Even sir has said, if you have question on Bollywood, put that one. At least, sir, to understand that you have certain question.
How many participants we have? 31. Okay.
Now calm down.
Yeah,
Kunal
maybe people are
Lakra
getting hungry.
has
It's
some.
lunchtime. Yeah.
Sir, how to overcome shyness?
Sorry.
Well, please repeat.
Sir, how to overcome shyness?
How to overcome
सर हितिन का मैसेज कर
Shyness,
दीजिए.
But I think we spent almost an hour, so and people generally have attention span of not more than 30 to 40 minutes. So I think this is incredible. We have 30 odd people who have stayed for an hour. This is amazing. So if you don't have more questions, probably we can,
actually Ethan
Yeah.
have some questions, but he's trying to join. Ethan, come back. Ethan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Do you have more question?
Oh, yes, sir. Please just give me a minute.
Please.
Oh, sir, my camera is not working. I don't know for what matter. But can I ask my question like this only?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, since like if we compare the organizations, how does Reliance, Oyo, or Netflix for that matter, how do these companies support its employees with their professional development opportunities?
See, every company support in a different way, and it's been quite some times I've been with Reliance and Oyo also. I think I will give you a more industry-wide example, which is more relevant. There are 3, 4 methods of learning or supporting employees, and let's compare it with, ordering food at a restaurant. Okay. For example, if you want to, if you're going to a restaurant and there's a buffet, you see, right? And if you are going somewhere, you might see there's a fixed menu. So some of the organizations, they offer learning or development as it is a fixed menu that, there are three things which are available. You eat or you stay hungry. Okay. You get Rajma Chawal in that restaurant. Either you eat that or you stay hungry. So that is the one form of development. Second set of organizations are there which offer you like buffet in a restaurant. Okay. So are like hundreds of items. You pick up 2, 3, 4 as per your choice and you eat those items. So learning is like that. You have 100 modules, you have 100 plans, you have 100 programs. You pick up some of the ones which are relevant to you and you pursue those programs. Third set of organizations which are my favorite, and I think those are the ones which are more successful also, is like ordering a sub in a Subway. You go there, you tell them that, hey, I want this bread, and they pick up the bread for you. Then you tell, hey, I want all these vegetables, I want chicken or egg or ham, I want these sausages, right? This is what you do when you go to a Subway to order your sub. And I think that is my favorite part, that hey, I know what I want to learn as an adult. There's an adult learning principle. I want to do these courses, I want to enroll into this kind of stuff, and now you provide me those things.
Hello.
Yeah, JK. I think Janishi has a question. Come on, Janishi, go ahead.
Hello.
Go
Hello.
ahead, Janishi.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, I think if you don't have more questions,
you can ask question.
Yeah, if you don't have questions, you can reach out to me on Twitter or LinkedIn or wherever you want to, and please let your questions come. And I'm always around to answer your questions. I understand it's more than an hour, and not easy thing to be on a Saturday morning. I understand. So if we can wait if there are more questions. If there are no more questions, probably you reach out to me on any of the platform. My details are there available, and I'm always available to answer your questions.
Oh, so
how does that sound?
Question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So just to keep it short and precise, how is success evaluated in your organization? Is it in a form of your CTC, or is it in a form of your growth position wise, or how is success evaluated in your organization?
I think success, I don't know exactly how it is evaluated, but probably it is, the member satisfaction. You have members like, I think that is the best way to evaluate this thing. Best way to go forward. How do you evaluate? I think this is the best way to, the member satisfaction, member count, and all these things probably are the best way to do it.
Fine, so thank you so much. I've reached out to you on LinkedIn, likewise, as you said.
Thank you very much. If we don't have more questions, we can hang up. It's 65, 70 minutes. And please reach out to me on social media platforms, and I am more than happy to answer your questions there. Shall we wrap up, sir? What do you suggest?
I think, students, if you do not have any more question, then we can come to the end part.
Sure.
Still, anybody have any question? Raise your hand. You just take 30 seconds. Raise your hand. So I think, sir, there is no more question.
Sure. No problem. Please reach out to me on any of the social media platform, and I would be happy to answer all your questions.
Yeah.
I think have a great day and a great weekend ahead. I wish you all the best for your final year, second year, and your corporate world whenever it starts.
Right, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I am
It was a
thankful.
really good interactive session with you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
So, in your busy schedule and along with your today's condition, what I have felt, till you are with last 1 year with us, patiently waiting for the students' question. That is awesome, sir.
No, this is.
We are thankful to you from core of our heart. I hope that we have a connectivity with you in our future deliberations also. So with this, let me conclude the session, sir.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank
It was
you,
great talking
everyone.
to all of you. Take care. Au revoir. Piavantu. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. It was such an encouraging.